Hello lovely people, welcome back or welcome if you're new. I'm your friendly neighbourhood librarian Kate, and in today's video we are doing a wrap up for January 2025 in my reading journal. January was an amazing reading month for me. Most of the month I was off from work. It was only in the last couple of days that I went back to work. If you don't know, I am a high school teacher librarian, and I also teach English and history at school. So the school year starts in Australia around the end of January and the start of February, and I had time off to get a lot of reading done. I thought I was only going to read 6 books this month, and wow, did I really underestimate that. I ended up reading 11 books. As you can probably see, I had to try and figure out where to put the book images on the pages. I started off with my 6 and then I started a series and I could not put it down. I just kept reading it. So yes, I had a lot of fun reading this month. Some great things that I started doing in my new reading journal is this reading tracker. So I am not 100% consistent or even accurate. It's just roughly I read a book between these 2 dates, so then I will track them. And I'm trying to do it color coordinating, so when we get to this bookshelf of the 100 books for the year, I color them in the same color, so then I know I read this many books in this month, which is purple, and then February is going to be pink because it is the month of love, as we know. So I did end up writing the titles in. I've numbered the books up to where I am, and I really enjoyed this reflective practice. So I was going to fill them in at the same time that I was doing or reading during the month, and I thought, no, I'm going to leave this till the end of the month so that I can actually reflect on all the books that I read and have a bit of gratitude and a little bit of like happiness of writing down all the books that I read. Now, I did read a lot more than I originally thought. My TBR went completely out the window because I am very much a mood reader. I found that I can actually read like 1 or 2 books that I have to read for the month. But if I set a full TBR, it's just not going to happen at all. That's why I started the Cauldron of Chaos TBR jar. So then I have my book of the month pick, and then I also have my Cauldron of Chaos pick. So sometimes I may even read more than just the one that I pick out of the Cauldron of Chaos, but yes, I haven't done that yet. I am actually going to start filming that today at the time that I'm recording this, which is the 1st of February. But I love how this turned out. It just so cute, so amazing. I'm really happy with all the books that I read this month. So I did read, I believe, 3 graphic novels. I read the beginning of a series. I read a Shakespeare play. I know, who am I? I read quite a few on Kindle Unlimited, and I read quite a few physical ones that I also annotated. Now, my book of the month is going to be given away here, but it's When the Moon Hatched, which was also my book club pick for the month of January for my paperback pals over on Discord. You are welcome to join that. There is no cost for that. It is just a Discord link. You click on it down below and we talk about the books that we're reading and what we think of them. Now, if you want to join and you're like, hey, I don't like that book club pick for that month, that's okay. You don't have to read it. I'm not forcing you. I'm not being a teacher. I'm just a librarian suggesting that, hey, why don't you try this one? Something new that I'm doing this year is obviously doing the wrap-ups where I can actually write down all my reviews. If you see the shift here, it's because I had to turn the aircon off, because it was blowing my pages everywhere. But anyway, back to what I'm talking about. What I'm doing is at the end of each month, I'm going to do my review pages. So I type up my reviews over on my notes app on my phone. So you will see my phone appear in this. But what I do is I write up my review, I write up my favorite quote, I wrote like the tropes that I think are most present in there, I write down the star rating, and I also write down the spice rating. And at the end of each month, I go through and pick my 5-star reads or my favorite reads, and I do a review page spread for it. So for the month of January, I do quite a few review pages because I had some really great books to read. The first page being is When the Moon Hatched, which is the book of the month by Sarah A. Parker. Now, if you don't know about this book, I'm just going to give you my brief thoughts that I end up writing down on the page. So it's about Raven is an assassin of the rebellion, but a magical one at that. Losing those she loves around her, her heart is guarded from letting anyone else in. Little does she know she has no choice but to trust the man who needs her most, Cain. In a world of dragons, wars, magical powers and gods, Raven and Cain must work together to unravel the truth that is within their grasp. Long lost love, forgotten ties, and magical ties make this a page turner that I could not put down. I ended up giving this a 5 out of 5, obviously because it's my book of the month. In the spice rating, it's definitely on a 3 level. If you want to know more about my spice rating, I will leave my reading journal set up down below where I go through the spice rating and also my rating within that. In terms of the tropes, I've started writing down the tropes because I find a lot of people will pick a book because of a trope. So for example, this has definitely got touch her and you die vibes. It's got you're mine, hate to love, and strong female protagonist. Because obviously she's an assassin. She is a strong badass. And I love that. I love when the female protagonist is like so strong and can like kick butt. It's one of my favorites. I also love the strong brooding guy type. I definitely have a type. But I found this absolutely amazing. My favorite quote of this is, I hate you. No, you don't, Moonbeam. You love me. You're just too busy feasting on my heart to notice. Oh my gosh. This book is just everything I wanted from a romantasy book ever. I can't believe I sat on this and haven't read it sooner. You need to trust the book girlies because they know what they're talking about. Now, I do have this in a special edition. I have the one with the stenciling on the edges as well as the sprayed edges. And I also, in a reading vlog, which I'll also leave the link down below, which is full of spoilers, just FYI. So if you go into it thinking it's not going to be spoilery, it is. I go through my whole thoughts and opinions and break down the book. I went and bought a paperback version so I could annotate this. And wow, did I have fun with this. I thought that the annotations would slow me down, but if anything, it helped me remember the book a lot more. I find sometimes with these romantasy books, I go into them reading and thinking, yeah, this is awesome, I love it, and then later on have no idea who the characters is or are, or even remember their names or what happened. Powerless is one of them. If you've seen my top 12 books for 2024, you'll know that I really struggled remembering who the characters were. It was pretty bad. I'm just going to be honest, but putting reviews like this and also putting annotations in books, definitely helping. Here's my photo version of this, just in case you wanted to know. And yes, there is a few spelling mistakes in that, but you know, we're human. And yes, I put an N on the end because I think Raven, and I think her name is Raven, but I always say it wrong, even though I listened to the audiobook and read it physically at the same time because I'm that kind of person. These stickers I got from an Etsy seller. So the star stickers and the spicy chili stickers, they are amazing. In terms of the quality of them, they're more like a paper finish, but a thick paper. So you can really get in there and color them in, which I love. It's just epic. I'm hoping to get a 5-star read and a 5-star chili one day. I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe when I read Hooked, which I have been told apparently is not a romantasy. It's just a dark romance, but that's fine. I put it on my list anyway. I'm still excited to read it, and I have the special edition of that. Yes, I am a collector of special editions. I love to see books that have those really fancy edges and those sprayed finishes and those pretty dust jackets and under the dust jacket covers. And oh my gosh, don't even get me started if it has a ribbon in it for a bookmark. Oh, piece de resistance. Am I right? Let me know in the comments down below if you also love special edition books. Now, I don't like annotating special edition books. That's where the problem comes in. If I want to annotate, I always get a paperback version, and then I get the plain hardback version. So for example, A Court of Thorns and Roses, I am planning to reread that and fully annotate it. Now, I'm not going to do that with my special edition ones or my out of print ones. I've bought the new ones and I'll probably just get a new cover for them. But saying that, I'm probably just going to flip them around so then you can just see the annotations. But yes, just so you know, those thoughts and opinions. When I do that, I want to break down and do a whole thing of like how I do annotations, because I have been asked like, what do I annotate? And it is very hard to find online what people actually annotate in their books. So I will give you a full breakdown in terms of an enjoyment read and also as a teacher what I also annotate, just so that you are aware. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a music break so you don't have to hear my voice throughout the whole thing, and I'll see you with the update of the next reading journal spread. again. Now we are up to my next reading journal spread, which is Forged by Magic by Jenna Wolfhart. Now this was a 4-star read for me. It has been on my TBR pile for quite a while, and I thought, hey, let's give it a go. It kind of gives me if Legends and Lattes was a little bit more spicy. And that's kind of what I got with this one. So my thoughts of this are, as you can probably read on the screen, a half orc named Delina or Dalia? Dela? I don't know. Is washed ashore on the lakes of Fable, where she meets Riven. I called him River, but that's me. An elf with a very grumpy side to him. Sent to destroy outlaw dragon magic, Delea is convinced something is going on around the island, but Riven needs her help to win a competition to save the island from the frost giant that has his tight ice shard hold on her. Now this is very much, she washes up on shore, he finds her on shore. He's grumpy and like, oh, I suppose I better look after her, and I'll just be grumpy because how can I like fall in love with her kind of thing. But they do, and it's cute, and I love the slow burn romance of this. It is very much giving me tropes of enemies to lovers because they are enemies. She is an orc mercenary sent to kill dragon magic wielders, and she can smell it everywhere on the island. It has a strong female protagonist. Obviously, she's a mercenary. We have a magical connection, but it's not what you think. I'm not going to tell you though. I'm going to leave it at that. It also has a slow burn romance in this. So they are very much a slow burn romance, and oh my gosh, it is adorable. Now I did end up coloring this in 5 stars, but it's actually 4 stars. In terms of the spice rating, it's definitely on the 3 side. There are some bits that probably could go a little bit higher, but in terms of the overall, it's definitely only a 3. Now, the next book we're going to look at is actually A Dark and Stormy Night. Now, this is a part of the Nevermore book series. It's, I think, a 10-book series, and oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. After reading this one, I think I'm up to book 6 now. I spent many late nights reading this series, but whew, let me give you a breakdown. So, also, hello, look at this cute new washi tape I got the other day. If you haven't seen my haul of this, I will leave it linked down below as well for you. But anyway, Mia, the main protagonist, the girly pop, is going blind. She lost her job in the fashion industry because of her obviously going blind. So she has to go back to her quaint English village or her home and applies for jobs at the local bookshop she practically lived in when she was growing up. Little does she know that the grumpy owner Heathcliff, his roommate Moriarty, and their pet Raven are not what they seem. And better yet, her ex-best friend arrives in town and is murdered, which then the blame is placed upon her because she's the likely suspect and she's the one that finds her. The boys aren't having this, however. It's a great mix of literary references, mystery, hotties, and swoon-worthy giddy glee. Oh my gosh, I need to buy the special edition set of these, or even just the first one, because whew, it was so good. Now, trope-wise, just so you know, it is a reverse harem book. So it is the girl with 3 guys. They work in a bookstop. Shop is one of my other tropes. Grumpy sunshine and love and murder mysteries. It is just cute. So you have Heathcliff, which is the guy at the top. He is the bookseller and owns the bookstore. You also have Moriarty. He's the second guy in this image. And yes, that is a hot version of Moriarty. And then you have Quoth, the Raven, which is the other guy. Because funny enough, he's not what he seems. Neither are the other guys. Neither is her, but I'm not going to tell you all about that. Now, this is a 4-star rating. I would have given it a 5, but I found the pacing just to be a bit off in some sections. It gave me very much old school murder mystery and detective fiction without being detective. So think Miss Marple, but make it spicy. It does have a 3-star rating. I would have bumped it to a 4 because of the kink level, but because the first book doesn't really have that as much, I left it as a 3. So it could be a 3.5. My favorite quote of this one, which I didn't tell you about the other one, so I'd go back. This one is, "But you're a privileged white man," she says. "Exactly," he says. "I'm bringing down the system from within." And I love it. It was just so funny. That was my laugh out loud moment. In terms of Forged by Magic's quote, it was, "With you, I would dance till the world ended." And oh my gosh, is that not the best? Anyway, back to A Dead and Stormy Night. Each book has a literary reference title. So instead of A Dark and Stormy Night, you've also got Of Mice and Men, where the next one is actually Of Mice and Murder. I've read the Pride and Prejudice one. That was adorable. And I'm up to the next one in the series, but I'm having a little bit of a break because I do have other books that I really need to read, and they kind of become obsessive. I think these books as well, I will probably go back and reread because I love the murder mystery edge. I am definitely a murder mystery girly, and if it's got a bit of spice in there, I'm all for it. Am I right? Am I right? Now, I don't know about you, but I think it's time for another music break. I'll see you in the next review. Hi, it's me again. We're going to do the review spreads now of my reading journal for the graphic novels. Now, I read 3 graphic novels this year. Not this year, sorry, this month. In January. Oh my gosh, am I so out of touch right now? Anyway, the first one I read was actually Olympus, but we're going to talk about Under the Oak Tree. Now, this is a translated one from Japan, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check. But I ordered this from Waterstones. They had a hardcover edition. And I love the art style. And I was like, let's try this out. And I should have read the trigger warnings. I do talk about this in one of my reading vlogs. So if you want to see that, I will leave that link down below. But yeah, wow. So let me give you my thoughts. I had such high hopes going into this graphic novel, and it kind of lived up to it. I found the main male character to be a very flat character who hasn't got a lot going for him except for his love for her and the fact that he's a knight. Maxine, on the other hand, is very much an abuse victim. I'm really worried she's only liking him because he's nice to her. I kind of ship her and the mage instead. Lots of trigger warnings going to this, and I should have read that before opening it because, geez, that was hectic. Now, I do understand the context that the time this was meant to be set and the implications of a maiden and those kinds of things. So just keep that in mind. In terms of tropes, it's very much touch her and die. It has the strength growing female and the warrior guy with the maiden girl. The quote that I like the most is, "If you knew how I felt every time you blush," which I thought was pretty cute. Now, I did only give this a 3-star rating, so it was kind of a, yeah, it's good, but not like I will order everything to do with this book. In terms of the spice level, it's definitely on a 3, even for a graphic novel. So keep that in mind. It's definitely an 18+ graphic novel. It is not for the kiddies. So yes, keep that in mind. Make sure to track the trigger warnings before going into this one. I did still find it quite cute, and I did still find the idea of some of the events quite interesting. I wish that they'd communicate more, but I understand why she hasn't communicated. In terms of some of the facial expressions of the images in the graphic novel, I thought they were a bit misleading in some of them, or just weren't quite as accurate as I thought they should be. So do keep that in mind. Now, this is also a novel as well, I believe, and it was originally a anime or manga series, and it has been translated for English, so do keep that in mind. I do like the idea of the mage and the magic system and the knight, and I'm interested to see how it goes and how it turns out. I definitely will be reading the next novel or jumping on and seeing if I can find it online, whether I can buy it digitally or not. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is actually Olympus. This was my first book of the year, and I read the first, I read volumes 7 and 8. Now, 7 is out in print at the moment. Then I jumped online and read 8 because I needed to know. I'm sick of that suspense and tension. Just tell me what's going to happen. So I went on and I bought some credits so that I could read it, and whew, was I glad that I did. As you can see, I put that round the wrong way. Anyway, volumes 7 and 8 of Olympus graphic novel made me download Webtoon to find and read more. This novel has me always wanting more and wanting to know what will happen next. Set in a more modern context, the graphic novel follows Cora and Hades as they navigate their will they, won't they relationship. A hilarious but emotional retelling of the Greek myth of Hades and Persephone, and oh my god, it is everything. I don't want to say too much because it is volume 7 and 8 and there's lots of spoilers if you are not caught up to it. But I do want to let you know the tropes within this is grumpy sunshine, touch her and die, and I will burn the world for you. Now there is trigger warnings at the start of the graphic novels. All of the volumes you will find a list of trigger warnings. But just keep that in mind. In terms of my favorite quote, it's one of Cora's friends screaming, I think it's Cora's friends or her mum screaming in the courtroom going, "You have a crush on Hades!" And I was like, oh, this is everything. So it's a 4-star rating. It's only a 1 chili spice because nothing much happens. I think they finally kiss, but I'm not going to tell you more because I have to leave it at that. Otherwise, it will be too much of a spoilers. But, oh, I love it. I love the art style. I love the representation. I didn't realize that in the webtoon, it actually has certain music that you listen to in certain parts that also builds that suspense and tension. And I love that, especially with my teacher hat on because of that mixed media. Oh, amazing. I probably will show like a tiny bit, probably not with the trigger bits, to some English students just so that they can see some different ways to represent things. But oh, I loved it. I loved it. Now, I do have a few credits left, so I probably will read the next volume this month, just so that I can really enjoy that. As again, I have this as a app, a notes in my phone, on my app, or whatever the notes app is called. I can't think about it right now, but yes, very cute, very cute. In terms of the Hades persona within this series, I thought it was very well done. I didn't think it was too overdone. So sometimes when they do Hades, he's too like brooding and all that kind of stuff. But I felt that he was more humanistic within this series than I originally thought he would be. Now I'm going to say here that if you're still listening up until this stage, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And leave me a little dog emoji for Severus there because he is such a cute little doggy. I should have called my dog Severus. Maybe I should get another dog. What do you think? Anyway, leave me a little dog or Severus emoji to let me know that you're watching up into this stage because I think sometimes I just ramble for no reason, but you know, it is what it is. In terms of actual reading for this month, I thought it was amazing. I enjoyed myself. It kind of got me back into the actual reading and enjoyment of reading. I really gave my Kindle a workout and I finally like recharged it and used the entire battery. Many a night did my husband come into bed and see me laid up in bed all squishy and cozy with the Kindle over my head and the remote control in my hand under the sheets as I was reading. And he's like, "Oh, you going to finish reading soon?" I'm like, "Yeah, one more chapter." You know, that lie that we all tell ourselves and never happens. And then it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're finally putting the book down. And then you go, this book is too good. I'm going to think about it all night and not be able to sleep very well. That happened many a time. Probably too much, but I did enjoy myself. It was pretty good. Did cause a lot of headaches though because I wasn't sleeping properly. Does anyone else get headaches if they don't sleep properly? Because I sure do. Now, I'm going to flick back and forth throughout this book. I had to go through and fix up some things because I was like, hey, I actually need to fill this out, or I forgot about this. So I went back and highlighted bits, and then I just remembered, hey, Kate, you know, you have a whole nother section that you need to fill in. You're going to see that in a minute. And I honestly could not remember what I was meant to write in this section. So yeah, that happened. Yeah, there it is, the book club. I don't know what to write in here. I ended up just writing the start and end date of reading it, and my basic ratings. I haven't done this for all the books. I probably will go back through once I get up until, I think it's what's January, February, March, April. After April, or when I do the April setup, I'll probably do the next lot of pages. I have got the pages blank, so then I can go through and fill them out. But they're the ones that we're reading for the book club. A little sneak peek for you. This month for February, we're reading Bitten by Death. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so that you can get a free download there, or you can buy it off of Amazon. You can also get the physical book on Amazon, but I think because it is a Kindle Unlimited book, you need to buy it off Amazon. You can't get it in a bookstore, I believe. Now, I wasn't sure how I was going to do the checklist off for this, but I ended up doing like you do on Instagram with the round check and then the tick. Yeah, let's have a look at the final result, shall we? I love, love, love how this turned out. So my book of the month is obviously When the Moon Hatched. It is a part of my romantasy checklist and my book club pick for the month of January. I am very thrilled with how this ended up being. I was going to add some more things here, but I could not remember. Can you see me just sitting there for ages? If you are looking for more bookish goodness, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I upload weekly and I'm always up for a chat over on Discord. The link is down below. I hope you have enjoyed me going through and adding to my reading journal. I'm going to head off now and go back to shelving some books and hopefully adding some more to my reading journal. I'll see you next time you stop by my library. Bye.